Welcome back into Coach's Corner East. I'm your host, Mike Sparks. We're at Galion High School this week, and we're wrapping up this week's show with Ryan Stover and the boys basketball team. We're brought to you in part by Don Barr and Associates at Galion Building and Loan Bank. Matt Studer at Spitzer Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Kia, 1 mile east of the Richland Mall. Mark Osborne and Associates at E-Crane International, serving worldwide markets from the Galion Industrial Park. Pleased to welcome Ryan Stover back to our show and have his boys with us tonight. It's good to see you again. And we were here the night before Thanksgiving, and you hadn't even played a game yet, and now you're 5 games in and sitting at a 2-3 record overall, 1-2 in the MOAC. And really looking at those past games, the one right after Thanksgiving when you opened up, you beat Upper Sandusky 72-63, and it's a great way to start the season. I know every coach in the nation, I'm sure, wants to start out with a win. How pleased were you with getting that win over a former NOL foe?
That was a great game for us. I thought that was by far our best game that we played as a whole. Everybody stepped in together and played as a team. And what a better way, after the holiday to start with a 1-0 record. Yeah,
and then you lose to a really talented Marion Harding team that Friday, 72-57. I know in talking with Coach Dick during football season, they have a ton of athletes. They may not always show it in win column, but I assume that on the basketball floor they have some really talented kids as well.
Oh, they do. That game we got out rebounded on the offensive glass, and that was the difference in the game. And they started early and we didn't. And give credit to Harding. Their athleticism took over, and that was the difference in the game.
It's interesting that you make that comment. I was watching the Cavs the other night. I enjoy watching them very, very much. And when they were down in San Antonio and they got off to a horrid start, and San Antonio really brought the energy. Talk about the importance of starting fast and not falling behind, because you expend so much energy on the probably the offensive end to try to get back into it. Talk about needing a fast start each and every game.
We need a fast start each and every game. Last night we just played Lucas, and that was our best start, I thought, of the year, and we ended up losing the game. So the fast start usually leads to a fuller momentum swing throughout the game.
Then on Thursday the 8th, a really interesting game against Clear Fork in the MOAC. You trailed the Colts 34-30 at halftime, and I don't know if you said something specific to Elijah Chafin, but he decided to go off and scored 19 of his game-high 31 in the second half. As long as you've been coaching, have you ever seen kind of anything like that where one player just gets incredibly hot and kind of carries the team on his shoulders?
I've seen it a couple times. I don't know if I've ever really seen it throughout the entire quarter like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good thing. He's a good basketball player, and if he wouldn't have stepped up, we would have really been in a dogfight at Clear Fork.
Yeah, how important, talk a little bit about that, how important it is to get a road win in the league right out of the gate like that?
Any league win is huge, and definitely going on the road, that's even better, because all talented MOAC teams, and they're all tough, and anytime you get a road win, you'll take it.
Last Saturday, you welcomed Shelby in here, and they're playing very good basketball, and they beat you kind of soundly 78-31. And then, as you mentioned last night, you go on the road to Lucas, a team that has a lot of their football players, and we know that if you're familiar with sports around here, you know the success of their football program. And before we started the show, you talked about the impact of their physical side, and talk about that a little bit, how it affected your guys, and kind of maybe threw you off what you wanted to do.
They got physical. They played up. They got in our shirts and wouldn't allow us to run our offense how we wanted to run offense, and it broke our rhythm, and it affected the flow and the style of how we wanted to play.
I've seen a couple games either in person or on TV this year, and I've noticed, to me, and I've watched a lot of high school basketball in my life, it seems to be all around more physical, as if the officials are allowing more hand checks, more in your growth, so to speak. Have you noticed that in just the short part that this season's been on, that it's more than maybe in years past?
I think right now they're allowing the physical play, and they're calling kind of the lighter stuff, a little tic-tac.
Oh, okay.
The games that we've had, it's a little tic-tac stuff has been called, and then they allow you to get away with a little bit of shoving here and there. So I don't know.
You've also dealt with a little bit of sickness, as so many teams have, and kind of from a health standpoint, I don't need to know individual people, but you 70% healthy, 90% healthy, not even close to that?
I would say we're about the 65% range. The last 3 games has really hurt us. We've had guys, our rotations have been shorter because everybody's, gasping for air.
Yeah.
So, and we've got a couple out tonight as well and last night. So once this whole flu thing goes away, hopefully we get back to 100% and that'll help us out.
Early in the season, what have you been most impressed with this group so far?
We've never gave up. We play hard. I mean, sometimes we lack some intensity, some energy, but we never give up. The fight is there. I feel that we've improved a lot from last year to this year, and just overall, I mean, this is a great group of guys that I get to coach every day and enjoy being around. And as long as they continue to keep fighting, the wins will start piling up for us.
Okay, very good. Take a break before we talk to the young men around the table. We're brought to you in part by Steve and Chuck Keller at Keller Auto Parts, your Napa dealer, Uptown, Galion, and Crestline. Dr. Thomas M. Britton, Clubview Vision Center next to the golf course in Bucyrus. Joe Kleiman, Associates at the Galion office of First Federal Bank of Ohio. A couple seniors, a couple sophomores here tonight. Braylon Hart is with us, and Braylon, thanks for coming. The position that you're playing on the team primarily this year?
I mean, I'd say the team generally is we're all about the same size. We have a couple guys that are shorter than most, but I mean, everybody can play anywhere on the court. We have a couple guys that are, I should say, bigger than others or play more physical, so they're playing down low primarily. During practice, I try to rotate around, but during the games, I usually just try to stay low.
Okay. So I want to touch on this with you, is that physical side. Has it been an annoyance to you? And also, has it left a little doubt in your mind, especially on defense, of what can I do and what can't I do? And do you find that out pretty early with the officials?
Playing aggressive is, I mean, I've always liked playing aggressive. I think having really ticky-tack fouls isn't something that makes the game fun to watch.
Sure.
Last night, there's a couples where it's you go to box somebody out and they call you for a foul, but then on their end, it's they shove you in the back and then it doesn't go noticed. So I personally enjoy playing physical, and I think physicality is what makes basketball fun to watch and play. So
Yeah. Okay. Even though the record, is not above 500, Coach talked about never giving up. And do you feel that mentality not only on game day, but in your practice sessions as well?
Yeah, we show up to practice every day. I mean, you've seen we had the big loss against Shelby, but I mean, we come to practice the next day and we're just got to practice so you don't let that happen again. You just show up, get better, figure out what you did wrong, and just improve.
Got to have a short memory for sure, right? All right. What's number one on your Christmas list this year? What are you asking for that you're hoping to get?
I want Messi to win the World Cup.
A what?
Messi to win the World Cup.
Messi to win the World Cup. Okay.
That's my one Christmas.
Yeah, you're a soccer player here.
I don't play soccer. But
Oh, you don't?
I like watching soccer.
Oh, I thought you did play soccer.
That's me.
Ah,
That's it.
okay. I'm confused. So yeah, you just enjoy watching it.
Yes.
All right. So hopefully Argentina, is that?
Yep.
Right. Okay. Well, we hope that comes true for you. Thanks for coming out. Quinn Miller is a sophomore. It's good to see you again, and I know you were with us last year as a freshman.
Yep.
Where has your game improved from last year to this year, in your opinion?
I'd say all around, really. I think my shooting and confidence has gotten a lot better.
Being a freshman last year and getting some time in at the varsity level, has the game slowed down for you to process a little bit more now, and you're not so running with your hair on fire because, jumping from 8th grade to varsity is a big jump. Does it seem to slow down for you?
Yeah, it's definitely slowed down for me. I'm able to comprehend a lot more.
Okay, where do you have to start getting improvement personally, in your opinion, to start helping the team out more?
I'd say definitely defensive end.
Defense, okay.
Yeah.
So, like your buddy here, are you willing to get in somebody's face and get a little physical with them, push them around?
It depends on the day. So, really, I mean, I'm not the most physical kid, but I will hustle
Uh-huh.
and try to do everything I can to help my team out.
Well, and I think your coaches will always say, as long as you give me 100% effort, you hustle the whole time, the rest will fall where it falls, and that's all we would appreciate for sure. All right, very good. So let's see, I kind of asked the girls too. So favorite Christmas snack, something that you have at your family, a salty or a sweet snack that you always have to have.
I have to think about this one. We normally don't really have Christmas snacks when we go get as a family for Christmas.
Nothing in particular. Well, how about your favorite food, the thing at the meal?
I also have to think about this one. There's so many. I don't know. I generally can't think.
Whatever's there, I'm going to
Whatever,
devour,
yeah.
right? Yeah, very good. All right, well, thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Seth Steiger, Senior, is here with us, and you're probably asked to do a lot of rebounding, a lot of post moves, things along that line. Has your strength been on the offensive end or the defensive end so far this year?
Definitely defense.
Defense, okay. Haven't quite gotten that shot down yet.
Not yet.
Okay. Boxing out, important. Getting a body on somebody is important. Who's been the toughest opponent that you've faced so far from a personal standpoint down low?
I didn't play last night, but I'd say definitely Clear Fork.
It
They had
was.
a couple, yeah, big kids.
And got to move them around and
Yeah.
get a body on them. The key to boxing out and to getting rebounds is what, in your opinion?
It's all about positioning and being able to just see the ball in the air and figure out where it's going to go.
Okay. What do you have to do to improve on the offensive end to contribute some more points to help your team out?
I just got to look to score more and definitely get up more shots in my free time.
Okay. And I'm sure your guys, the rest of your guys are in there practicing right now. Coach is probably saying, got to get more, you need some help underneath. All right, very good. Favorite Christmas movie?
Oh, jeez, that's a tough one. Home Alone.
Home Alone. Okay, good choice. Yeah, I enjoy that one as well. Max Albert is a sophomore. I appreciate you coming out, and you're there with your buddy Quinn as a second year. A very similar question. How has your game improved from last year to this year?
Definitely like more physical than last year. I've been trying like defensively use my chest more than my hands, which was my problem last year. Very handsy. My left hand has improved a little bit, but still need a little bit of work on that. So overall.
Second year for Coach Stover, you were with him last year, and it's always, I think, a little bit of a challenge to have a first-year coach because you really don't know expectations. You're getting to know him, he's getting to know you. How have things gone, let's say, more smoothly in practice and in games now that it's his second year, in your opinion?
I don't know. I just really like our energy overall, like the way that he brings energy to our team, and he puts his. Sometimes he gets a tech for us, which just gets us hyped up.
Yeah,
So,
that's a good thing. I talked to the girls. They have Ontario coming up tomorrow. You have them coming to your place on Friday night. And in talking to other sports, it always seems like here at Galion, Ontario is such a big rival because they're close, let's face it. And they've had such a storied basketball program there. In your opinion, what is the key to victory to beat the Ontario Warriors Friday night?
physicality. We need to box out and like just chest people up because we've been lacking on offensive rebounds, and we really need to put bodies on people.
All right. I learned a new song when I talked to the cheerleaders that I'd never heard before, a Christmas song. What's your favorite Christmas song that's always playing in your head?
Jingle bells.
Jingle Bells. I heard that one from the girls' team, so we got a match there, a little bit different. Well, thanks for coming out. I appreciate it very, very much. One final break before we wrap up the show here. Show's brought to you in part by the Burkhart family at the Burkhart Farm Center, your Case IH dealer straight west of Galion on the Manette New Winchester Road. Mike Kleinite at Ag Credit Residential Lending, Bucyrus, Mount Gilead, and Marion. Sweet Baby Ray Jones and Kendra Weaver at Ohio Door and Sash, 120 South Street in Galion. Mark Osborne at E-Crane International, Route 598 at the north edge of Galion. Coach, as I mentioned, you got the Ontario Warriors coming in here on Friday night, a team that's 2-1 overall, and we know they play good basketball. They're in the second-year coach, right, as Coach Baylog left. Former Madison coach has come over. What do you expect to see from them, and what do you really need to take advantage of to beat them?
We're going to see a lot of physicality. They're a pretty good basketball team. They like to get up and down the floor. They want to try to shoot it, but they're going to move the basketball and find the open guy. And they're a really good team help defense. So, it's going to be hard for us to move the basketball. And every time you face Ontario, it's always going to be a challenge. And, it's just shortly up the road. So, it's kind of turned into a little bit of a rival. But we just hope that we can come out, match their intensity and match their physicality, and see what happens at the end of the game.
Next Tuesday will be an interesting matchup for you, specifically going down to Highland, and that's where you're from. And they're 2-3 overall, 0-3 in the MOAC. And does that bring any extra intensity to you because of who you're playing?
It always does. I mean, that's my alma mater. So I always enjoy going back there. You know, last year we were 0-2 against Highlands, so I'd like to make that up this year. But to me, I mean, you know, it's not just because it's my alma mater, but I mean, it's another MOAC league game that we need to go out and execute and play it to perfection and try to win that game.
Right before the holiday, you go down to Mount Gilead, a team that's 1-3 overall, 1-2 in the KMAC, and in our first show, I asked Elijah Chafin, who transferred from there, moved in here, if he was looking forward to it, and he already had that date on his calendar. A good KMAC team, and then another KMAC team that's playing very, very well in Northmore right after the holiday on Tuesday the 27th. They get a win over Cardington last night. Pretty heavy load coming up here right before and after the holidays, and the last three after this Friday, all on the road. Do you like how they're bunched up like that on the road, or not particularly so?
I would like not to be that many road games in a row. But, I mean, our schedule is not easy. We play a lot of tough teams, a lot of good teams.
Right.
That, you know, our non-league schedule is pretty talented. So, you know, we just got to take one game at a time and just see what happens.
Yeah, well, I hope you get healthy really, really soon. I hope kids come back and get strong and can help you out. And I'll look forward to see how that game with Ontario goes, and hopefully you can notch a win and get a few of these road wins and start putting something together as we turn the calendar to 2023 and get really into the meat of the season. Thanks, guys, for coming out tonight. I certainly appreciate it. Hey, coming up on Friday, we have high school boys basketball. It'll be the battle between Winford at Bucyrus. That'll be on WQEL at approximately 7:30. I'll be in for the Friday night phone board around 9 o'clock. Saturday, very busy day. We have high school girls basketball, Colonel Crawford at Seneca East on WBCO at 1 o'clock. Ohio State men's basketball taking on North Carolina from Madison Square Garden in New York City in the ACC Big Ten shootout. Coverage beginning at 2:15. Saturday evening, boys high school basketball on WQEL, Colonel Crawford at Seneca East, tip time right around 6:30. And Davy Jones sitting in for the Saturday night phone board at approximately 8 o'clock. Special thanks to everyone here at Galion High School, especially Athletic Director Kyle Vaughn. Thank you to camera operator John Kreider and Galion winter coaches, girls basketball coaches Carson Early and Gary Burdine, cheerleading coach Olivia Tanner and her team, and boys basketball coach Ryan Stover and his team. Thank you to our sponsors, most of all you tuning in on the WQEL Facebook page and Crawford County Now YouTube page. For WQEL Sports, this has been Mike Sparks reminding you, spirit with a vision is a dream with a mission. Have a good night, everybody.